Recently, Luke posted about his new best friend, the Somavedic crystal pyramid scheme. I mean, pyramid, which I think looks like a participation trophy in the Yoga Olympics, though Matthew better explains it as a Star Trek wedding cake.
You're right. That's it.
Here's Luke describing it himself, quote, I've never been a huge crystal guy, but after falling in love with their EMF mitigation devices, I'm sold that this badass piece is going to have a positive energetic impact on the home and for the aesthetic vibe. He continues, quote, the theories on the power of pyramids are numerous and hard to verify, but the Egyptians and all the other civilizations that built them must have done so for a reason. Right. So maybe one reason is those are the buildings that they can construct at that time in history. And I know that many people romanticize ancient pyramids, but I never hear those same people talk about the slave labor that went into building them. So think about closer to home, the entire American economy and infrastructure system was created by slavery and later by immigrants bought into indentured servitude. You know, what wellness influencers call being a digital gypsy and living a nomadic lifestyle. But seriously, their privilege is literally built on blood and death, but, you know, live your best life ever, I guess. So back to Luke. He goes on to say that Somavedic just conducted a couple fascinating scientific studies in which they, quote, proved faster cell regeneration and wound healing in a high EMF environment, as well as a 2x increase in negative ions in the air. Negative is good in this case. Thank you. You science geeks can find the studies on their site for reference, end quote. Well, thank you, Luke. I think I will check out those studies. And I did. So Somavedic Site is a trip. Apparently, their devices create a 2,800 square foot energy field that forms a bubble and penetrates walls while creating a coherent life-supporting field that mitigates the negative effects of 5G, geopathic stress, Curry and Hartman lines, which are part of the pseudoscience field of geobiology, free radicals and oxidative stress, and can even harmonize tap water.
So the 2,800 square feet, though, isn't that the typical size of a McMansion? Isn't that the square footage of like that? That's like
where it starts. That's where they start.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that at least give you that coverage. Now, is this the moment where we announce that we have an endorsement deal with these people and they're funding us?
It's coming, Julian. Why do you got to ruin everything? Jesus. There's no known biological mechanism for non-ionizing EMFs, such as power lines, cell phones, and Wi-Fi, to cause DNA damage and thus cancer, end quote. And I'll follow that up by stating that while certain crystals absorb EMFs, there's no known mechanism, including or especially on the consumer market, for protecting biological entities such as humans from radiation. Energy fields make for good science fiction, but not science. But I don't think Luke is actually concerned about science when he shares his code for 17% off the toy pyramid. In fact,
oh wait, that's the Q letter.
Oh shit!
17.
There it is. There, I didn't even see that. It was hidden in plain sight.
All right.
Fuck. In fact, Luke's store is filled with pseudoscience tchotchkes. There's a hyperbaric oxygen chamber, a variety of blue light blocking devices, all sorts of nootropics. He's big on those. Probiotics for pets, and a human charger which shoots white light into your ear canal to activate the creation of serotonin, dopamine, and adrenaline. In total, there are 188 items for achieving optimal health available in Luke's store. At least we know a few Austin billionaires are going to live to be 1,000 thanks to this lifestylist downline. But seriously, if you need that much protection against the toxic environment that engulfs us, how poor is your health to begin with?
So this might sound like a non sequitur, but like I'm listening to the list of products and I can't stop myself from thinking about how much my children who are 4 and 8 really love Lego. Like they really love it. It comes in boxes that contain worlds for them, and it all links together, and they can, indulge in these wonderful fantasies after the sets are put together. There's a Ninjago world, a Star Trek world, there's a Harry Potter world, and it's kind of like I'm trying to see the real daylight between that kind of consumption and the pleasure of creating fantasy worlds out of all of the same stuff, all of the same premises. I'm trying to see the daylight between that and what the sort of geeky wellness shopping list offers. And it's kind of hard for me. And after a while, I can't imagine also that any of these products on their own have much of a lasting power. Like, how long would you be interested in the Somavedic pyramid once you'd bought it? Like, how long would it have to pretend to work for you before you kind of forgot about it? Or, with the Lego set, you lost the assembly book and you lost the box, and all of the pieces just sort of ended up in like the bucket at the bottom of the closet. I feel like the new age tickle-trunk is kind of like a bucket of Lego where all of the pieces are kind of disassembled, and we kind of forgot what was interesting about them to begin with. But I think the main thing is just consumption, right? Like I can't get over I can't see the difference really between what my children want and what I end up consuming too much of, and what's on offer here.
One thing we talk about a lot at my job at Centered, being a technology company, is the importance of creating habits. So in everything that we're doing, not we, I mean collectively as a society, we produce these new products over and over again. And what really matters is when something becomes sticky. And in order to become sticky, it needs to become a habit. Now, in order to create new habits, you usually are replacing other habits. And so there's a process that happens where there has to be a comparable reward for the habit you're replacing for the new habit to stick. To put into context, we're a flow state app and we're trying to help people get into flow while they're working and monotask instead of multitasking. And so if you can create a powerful enough incentive to help people not multitask, but actually get more work done by monotasking, that reward will stick. And when I see everything in this downline, or what you just talked about, Matthew, about things that are just here and then gone, is because none of them actually stick. They come, they make people feel better for a couple of weeks or months, however long the placebo lasts. And then they're flooded with more things that'll make them even healthier. So I would argue, for example, people who've practiced yoga for decades, that has stuck, and that brings them some sort of reward when they're doing it. But when you're talking about these tchotchkes, these things that I'm looking at that are so ridiculous in their health claims, it's just, and they're constant. He's relentless. Every week there's a couple of new tchotchkes. And it's like, I really mean what I said. How poor is your health that you need to optimize everything constantly to always be climbing somewhere to a ladder that never actually ends?
Yeah, so the lack of sustainability, or whatever we want to call it, is a feature, not a bug. What's actually sticky is not the lifespan of the interest in the product after you've bought it. What's sticky is the endless desire for the next thing that's going to optimize you to another level. Yes,
that's the whole nootropics. That's nootropics. That's all I see when they're being discussed, because there's always some new herb. There's always something that will just give you like a 1% more increase that hooks people, and it is relentless in the marketing.